My next news story is EA is deciding the fate of Anthem. Anthem, the game this week. Although this might age poorly the time this podcast goes out. So obviously we're recording this on Friday for transparency purposes. So yeah, this story might age poorly. But basically they're holding a meeting at the end of the week, last week, to decide whether or not to overhaul the game or continue with overhauling the game or just to scrap it altogether. Currently, they have 30 people on the team, which they're calling Anthem Next. And at the end of this week, they're making a decision whether or not to continue with it. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think the decision is going to be? Firstly, guys,
they're going to scrap it. Yep. Kill it with fire.
I think they're going to continue.
Get it, and then fucking chuck it in the bin because it's rubbish. No one cares.
Yeah,
just take the disc and just throw it out the window. Yeah. Go on, Brad. Why do you think they're going to continue?
I don't know. I feel like there was a big marketing campaign in that game, and it was a big launch, and it's a big discussion point. There's enough noise out there for it to have some legs, and we've seen games in the past just revamp and be successful, like
Destiny
2. What was the what's that one you downloaded, Reese?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. Even Division 2 flopped. No, Division 1 flopped after the first year, big time, and then there was a big re-release. They just left it alone for a year, and that came back.
Rainbow Six Siege as well. That had a big turnaround. Yeah,
it seems to be quite trendy. It's almost like an intentional tactical plan where they're like, all right, let's release it. It's shit, but everyone's going to buy it because we've got a brilliant trailer for it. Everyone buys it. They get initial sales. Shareholders are happy. Fuck it in the bin for 2 years. I'm like, all right, let's do it again. So I don't know. I think who knows?
I've not played it. I've seen a lot of reviews, and I was gonna go in, and then I saw the review saying that it's just kind of like an empty shell of a game, and I was like, I was not gonna bother then. I won't do it. I know you had it, Reese, didn't you? You played it.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Personally, there wasn't. I think you played it as well, Ash, right?
You like the Avengers, so
I do. Yeah, so take my opinion with a pinch of salt, but I like both of them, and they're nowhere near as bad as what people make out. Like they're not. I think people's expectations sometimes need to be like leveled, and I guess it's not at the bar that it should have been. And I guess they should have been more. There should have been more of an end game, and they were so both of them have been buggy, which has been a big problem. But I think you can kind of go to like why are looter games so difficult to make, and why are just so many foul. Like the latest one that's been released is Godfall, which is fouled more than any of the games that we can mention. You know, you talk about Godfall, Avengers has not been great, Anthem's not been great, but then you got like a handful of ones that have been okay. Division, Destiny, Borderlands. And obviously I think we're getting the latest one, Outriders, which is coming in April, I believe, which is going to be the next one to try and attempt to be a looter game. So it's like, why do so many games foul when you can clearly see this is what is successful, this is not what's successful, but yet new ones continue to come out and make the same mistakes?
I think they just, because they rush it, they put games that ain't finished. They're like, like Brad said, like fuck it, we put the game out, we know it's not finished, we want to make some money, and we'll come back to it. It's like, you don't buy, like, I don't buy a Jigsaw and I'll get halfway through it and they're like, oh, sorry, the rest of the pieces ain't here. You have to buy them again. You have to wait and we send them to you in the post. No, you buy something, you want it to be complete, not a husk, and they'll slowly pump in like fucking content, so it's just wrong. Game.
This is a shame because, like I said before, the fly mechanics on that game were really good, and the fact they managed to get that right, which you would think would be the hardest part of the game, being able to play it and know which way's up and being able to fly around and actually enjoy it, and all they had to do was just put a half decent story in there and you would have been away. But they was like, well, we've got everything else, story, we'll just put it out, we'll figure that out later, just put the fucking game out, just get some money back.
Just like Brad said, they sell it on a trailer. Trailers always look good. You get the game, half of it ain't in it, or they're going to put it in later. It's just shit. Just shit, and I don't agree with it. Do not agree with it. So.
I don't think it's as simple as that. Maybe I'm being a little bit naive. It is. I don't think developers purposely say, oh, we're going to make this game, but we're not going to put in all the work just so we're just money grabbing. I don't think the intentions
No,
as
I
a
think
developer
they overset it. They overhype it, and they have
but
good
that's on you,
intentions.
isn't
Maybe
it? It's on
maybe
you,
they
though,
have
isn't
good
it?
intentions, but then don't say you can do all this shit, and then down the road be like, oh, they get to a point where they know they can't, but then they still decide to release the game. If they should be like, we're going to delay. You know, Cyberpunk, they knew it was fucked, and they got to a certain point and thought, well, it's too late now. Do we delay it again, or do we put it out? I'll put it out, and then it's just shit. You know, I don't know. It's not.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
That's my rant over. Sorry,
we're passionate boys.
Yeah,
It's a lot of passion there. Brad is a guy that plays a lot of looter games. What do you think is the issue with a lot of these games? Like, what is missing, and why is Destiny so successful? What's the missing ingredient?
Just, I think just the end game is key. That it's a whole big conversation, isn't it? They think about the initial launch and the initial story or lack of in some cases, but what makes these games successful is their longevity and for them to live on. And you know, Destiny didn't have a great launch. Destiny 2 didn't. To be fair, it wasn't what everyone was hoping it was going to be. It sort of flopped to a degree. It didn't completely die a death, but a lot of the D1 players left Destiny 2 because they're, you know, Destiny 1 had spent years and years getting to where it needed to be. Destiny 2 launched and it was so thin in terms of loot, but that's good now. It was one of the success stories that revamped. But yeah, it's just no one seems to have it in them to bring out a looter game year one and tick all the boxes. And I agree. I think it's just shareholders. They just want to get it on the shelves, get in early sales, because if you do develop these, like looter games do take a lot more. There's a lot more requirement to have more content, more hours filled. You play these games as a hobbyist. You don't play them to play a game like that you've finished, you get to an end of, and that's it, done. You've spent like 20 hours doing the campaign and, you know, one time and done. You're expected to play these as a hobby, like every night you log on. That is hundreds of hours. And I think it's a real challenge to sit there and out the box have a game with hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of content.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why I'm always a little bit confused. Like, why is this not planned at the beginning? It's like, we're making a looter game. Before we even release the game, we need to have the end game planned and have it pretty much almost done. We're just polishing it, kind of thing. We need to release it with a raid. We need to have a roadmap, and we need to stick to that. Because it's a bit like what you said. It's kind of like Destiny year one kind of fell apart after like Black Armory. I feel like I stopped playing it then. Or was it Black Armory, or what was the first one? The Mercury one was the first.
It was the Curse of So the first one was Curse of Osiris. Yeah, that was when people got mad and the
it just jumped out. Yeah, it wasn't very great. But obviously Forsaken, which was the following expansion the following year, was massive. It was even bigger than the base game. That's kind of what saved Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of these games either need this big expansion the following year or just a really good, strong roadmap. And they just don't seem to do it. But they will make more money. They make more money from it. Like the stores that they make from cosmetics and stuff, and people sticking around. Like people, especially with Avengers, the amount of costumes they can add to it and the cosmetics, they can make so much money if they just had a roadmap and all that stuff ready. But there you go.
Yep.
Interesting conversation.
There we go.